Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of Rural Canada A. In this episode, I'm going to show off a neighborhood that we built on a Twitch live stream. And yeah, we're going to build out a drive-in movie theater, which is super, super exciting. These builds are a lot of fun. These kind of random episodes. If you're looking for all City Skylines content, we also got early access to City Skylines 2. This is the place for you. Like, comment, subscribe if you're enjoying the content. We are so close to our 1K subscriber goal, which will net you our first ever YouTube live stream. So that'll be super exciting. So yeah, welcome into all the new people as well too. Obviously, you know, big bump from the City Skylines 2 video, but yeah, man, just in general, the growth has been insane over here. Thanks all for the amazing comments, too. They're super, super cool. So yeah, I'm going to come in here, plot out a little area for this. It's going to be off of this main highway that's going to cut through this little community here. And yeah, in the live play, we're going to deep dive into that community that we built during the live stream where I was answering City Skylines 2 questions over on Twitch. But I also want to hear from all of you. What would you like to see in a part 2 of the City Skylines 2 content? The city of Old Monroe, taking a little flavor of Rural Canada A and bringing it to City Skylines 2. Let me know in the comments of this video here or on the City Skylines 2 video what you would like to see in a part 2. I want to hear from all of you. So we're going to kick it off with this asphalt road on the side there and then branch out this little suburban road that'll be a extension of the small community that we built. And yeah, that asphalt road ends up being perfect. I really like the one that Hockenheim did, but it wasn't playing too well, so we swapped it out for Ronix, which worked really well and ends up being the main sort of, actually, I think it's the only road that we use as well, too. So we're going to stretch these out, and we're going to come in and paste our intersection marking that we did at the top of the, or at the start. And just so that they have the turn-in lanes for getting in here. This is based off of a real-life location, the Twilight Drive-In Theater. I guess in Langley is where it would be. And so we're taking inspiration from this. We're not doing it one-to-one, but it does end up being pretty damn close to the to the real thing. And I chose this one because I'd actually been there many times as a kid. So I grew up in Anmore, British Columbia. And if anybody knows that, I guess for people farther away, think of like Port Moody. It's up in the hills above it. And then my dad had to move for work, and we moved to Kamloops, British Columbia, where I spent majority of my life growing up. But yeah, I went to here a bunch as a kid, so I've got a couple memories still kicking around that I remember of going to this one, and it felt like the perfect one to take inspiration from. So that's where we're focused on this episode and bringing it to Rural Canada A. So I initially come up with this dirt road, but I realized that they use asphalt roads frequently, or I think that's all that they use at this actual one. So it is paved lightly. Asphalt paving. So I'm going to come in and actually swap out this dirt road for the asphalt one. So if you see any pauses, it is sped up footage. If you see any pauses, that's, I've said this before in previous episodes, but that's just me looking at Google Maps. So we're going to come up with this curved angle, and this is going to be the basis that we use. Now, there's another part coming up here. Right about, like, pretty soon here, once we get the roads laid out and the screen set up, which actually, you know what, tangent off of that, let me know if you think the screen's too big. It took a lot of working with. I'm really happy with the end product. But yeah, let me know if you think it's too big. I did try to compare it to scale for like citizens and vehicles and what I thought it would be compared to what I saw in real life on Google Maps, because it looks really, really big, the one in real life that I'm taking inspiration from. But I don't know, I ended up being really happy with the end product. And this isn't, like, it goes through a few iterations, but I'm really, really stoked at the end product of this build because we end up making the entire thing function within vanilla standards, so people will come here and interact with this area, which is really cool. So I start out by copying and pasting the road. Turns out that I think it's Network Multi-Tool is actually going to be our savior for this build. Copy and paste, not the way to go. Network Multi-Tool all day. And what's really wild about this part here is all of these props, all of it, everything that you're about to see, all the props that I placed down are not going to stick around, because I realized partway through this build that we could actually make this entire thing function. I thought maybe some people would come out here, but it all kind of came to me where I was actually able to make this thing sort of function Actually, not sort of. The thing completely works. I was blown away that we were able to get it to work that way. And then I realized that placing these vehicles down, people are going to back in, right? You'd be sitting in the truck bed watching the movie, you know, snuggled up with a blanket, and you know, people bring lawn chairs and stuff like that out to watch as well, too. So maybe I'll come and detail those, but the thing is, the vehicles don't stay because I make it functional, meaning that people treat this like a parking lot, right? And so the cars will be changing, which I really like, and coming in and out of the slots there. So sometimes you might just see chairs that are, there could be chairs that are just left behind, who knows, or stuff that people forgot. So I'm not going to completely rule it out. But we began with intersection marking tool here. And these are little bollards that I saw in the real spot, and they're used to denote parking, where people are going to park and whatnot. So I thought that'd be a really cool addition here. And I really love those wood bollards by Cyberscythe. They work so heckin' well for this thing. But again, all the props that we're going to do here are, they're not going to stay. They're really cool. I love it. Jack, you nailed it, man. I love that you include props. Super cool. They're not going to stay because we're going to make this entire thing actually function. It's so cool. I'm really excited with this build. And it's a nice break from the usual stuff that we do, you know? Like, this kind of stuff is a perfect break from the monotonous downtown. And I love downtowns. They're one of my favorite things to craft in this game. But, you know, we all need a break from downtown eventually, and to come out into the sticks and do something like this is a lot of fun. You know, it really, I mean, I love these projects. So we're going to plan out the roads here, and this is where network multi-tool is going to come in handy because copy and paste just wasn't doing the trick. And I thought maybe, okay, let's line it up and then draw it out. Will that work? And then I realized, nah, we got to network multi-tool this, and it made it so much easier, so much quicker. Let the mods help you. Because you can push it out, right? So we're going to push it out to 18, and we're going to settle on that. And it gave a really decent gap for the vehicles, and we're just going to keep copying this because it stretches it. This was the look I wanted, kind of like a theater, right? Like the way that that they are, kind of like a bandshell theater. There's that one spot that I'm thinking of. Anyways, I digress. This works out way better. And the cool thing is we're just going to come in and copy and paste our intersection marking tool stuff anyways, right? And so then that becomes the spots that we do. But I'm going to come in, place a bunch of props vehicles here, and again, just none of them are gonna stay at all, you know, like none of them are going to stay. And again, it's one of these parts where, like, I haven't gotten a comment about like, oh, you probably shouldn't include this footage. So I'm just going to kind of roll with it because, like, I want to walk you through my thought process, right? And my thought process going into this was, we're going to place down these props, going to line this all up. It's going to look great. It's going to be awesome. And I thought maybe we could do something. There's an option in procedural objects where if you convert something to PO, you can have it only appear at nighttime. So we could have it appear, you know, like only these cars are in the lot at nighttime, which is a cool idea. But having it function, in my opinion, is actually cooler. So that's why, I don't know, like, the thing is, I just like keeping these moments in where it's like, what we're doing, what you are seeing is not the final product, and it's not going to stay, because I feel like people can relate to this where they're like, oh man, I do like this same, I go through this same thought process, or I deal with this same stuff of like, it's very rare that you nail it on the first go. And I know a lot of creators will practice and practice before they actually record it. I'm kind of different, man. I just go in raw. I'm just like, here's the idea I want to do. Let's build it. And if I make mistakes along the way, that's part of city building. You know what I mean? Like, that's how it is in this game. And I like to include that and I don't know, show you guys exactly how I play the game. It's the whole part of this series is just to be like, hey, I'm this kid from Canada, and this is how I build cities, you know? This is the stuff that inspires me. This is the stuff that I wanted to share with all of you. Because creating videos is a lot of fun, man, and I get to share these creations with all of you. It's just so much fun, and yeah, I don't know, it's a blast. It's super cool. So yeah, we're going to come out here and we're going to create these little cul-de-sac turnaround points because I think that there'd be a turnaround there. The real life inspiration had a road that just ended with a barrier there. So I was like, we got to do that. It's kind of cool. You'll see lots of streets like that. They don't necessarily end a cul-de-sac. They just end with a barrier saying, no, you can't come through here. Yeah, it is what it is, you know. Now we're going to clean up the trees there a little bit and make sure that there's plenty of clearance for the intersection there as well, too. Then I'm going to come in here and realize that this side definitely needs a road that connects as well, too. So I look at the real area for inspiration, draw this out, and we're just going to have this end sort of the same way there as well, too, with a little, like a cul-de-sac end and turn around. Come in there with the node controller just to clean up the edges, drag this out, and we're going to make this one become our little endpoint there. And this is just such a cool trick that I use in suburban areas as well for creating what realistic cul-de-sacs look like. And this asphalt road, man, is so freaking good. It is so good. I'm gonna place down this lifeguard hut, and I got this trick from $2.20 on Springfield. We're gonna use that to kind of be the basis of the theater, like the camera. Projector. That's it. Projector. Projector goes in this building. And, yeah. So, you know, I don't know. I'm not a movie nerd. I don't really understand it, but, like, I kind of get it. So, projector. It goes in that building. And then I thought about using that vanilla cafe, but it definitely looked like one that would be in a city or like a park, not necessarily one for a drive-in. I thought the same about this one, and I'm going to be honest, after shooting the cinematics and whatnot, I really came around to this cafe. Now, the cafe asset itself is gorgeous, but it's got a big beach vibe. Not so much something that's like in a rural drive-in theater, but I don't know. Again, I came around to it, and the fact that it's got the restrooms included, you can see that sign. Like, it's just a little touch that adds realism to it that I was really proud of, and I think it ends up looking really good. I got to do something about this one. So this works great, right? An awesome asset by Rick for the entrance gate there, but I want to see if I can do something in procedural objects to make that the little pole, I want to make the pole function so it goes up and down, and yeah, well, that's what I want to do. So I should check that out, you know, see if I can get that to work. So we're going to come with the fence, and we're just going to sort of create like the barrier of where this place is going to be. Now, I don't know. I stick with barbed wire. There's a part where I go in, and this is just me looking at Google Maps again here as well, too. So I'm going to look at it and see what they use. Now, I go in with chain link, but I swap it back to barbed wire instead. So I don't know which one is ideal. We stick with barbed wire in the end. All of it gets swapped out for barbed wire, but I don't know what will stick in the end. I'm going to come in with a warehouse. The area in real life here in Coquitlam is surrounded by industrial, and it makes a lot of sense. Like, that's where they could get plot of land to do something like this. And right off the highway too, right? You gotta, you know, ease of access. It's gotta have the area, so that it kind of helps to sell that story. And then we have this beautiful, beautiful warehouse asset by Spence that's abandoned and covered in graffiti. And this area would totally have an abandoned warehouse, so that just works out absolutely perfectly. Really, really happy with that asset too. So we're gonna come in here and cover all this up with pavement, and probably I should have used. Well, maybe I could come in and still do it, but probably I should have used ploppable asphalt to make it blend a little bit better with the road. And yeah, like I just mentioned, I could probably come in and do that later. Overall, though, like the decals that we're going to add to that area to detail it up at the end, they don't really, like, they work really well to blend it, so I'm not too, like, it's not a huge concern of mine to have to come and do that. So you're going to see me using the chain link fence here, and just line that up again. These will be converted to the barbed wire fence. But yeah, feel free to let me know your comments if you're like, no, the barbed wire doesn't make any sense. You should do something like this. I'm totally open to that feedback. Because again, we are using chain link here, but we're going to swap that out for one that's barbed wire. I actually thought about using the curb here. I was like, yeah, this will work. We'll just do like the curb thing. I realized that the actual one is like super straight. And so this took a lot of, you know, messing around and trying to, like, this took way longer than probably it should have. Just to get this fence like lined up and figure out what's going on. But I just didn't know what I wanted it to look like, and it's kind of messy. It's like not the most ideal, but we do slap some trees around it, and it kind of sells. So yeah, here I am upgrading all this to barbed wire there. There's a segment that I missed. I fixed that, but I only noticed it after recording cinematics, so just bear with. It will all be barbed wire for the next time, but currently during this recording, there's like one tiny segment that's just chain link and like didn't get turned. So, you know, but yeah, so here's the main thing where I realized, hold up, because I saw vehicles coming to the building, to the cafe, and I was like, wait a second. We could make this entire thing function. It doesn't just have to be a detailed scene that nobody uses. I place an entertainment block that's going to bring people in as well as tourists. What I'm going to do here is parking squares, and I want the vehicles to reverse in, right? So we're going to align it up there, and I'm going to plop a couple because this is me testing it out, seeing, will this function? Can I actually get this area to come to life? And it changes the entire build. This entire build, again, I say this every episode, this becomes like one of my favorite builds, but honestly, this becomes really one of my favorite builds when I realize that people can actually come in and access this. So we're going to see traffic come in. And you know what's funny is, like, at first I was like, why are people parking right there by the cafe? I thought it was that the cafe asset had parking, but no, it's this road, this asphalt road. has parking on it. So that's what the vehicles are doing. They're coming in, they're parking on the road, and they're coming in to access the cafe, right? So here's me looking for it. I can't find it, and then I realize, boom, yep, there it is. It's the road. So when we change this, vehicles are now going to be forced to park at those parking slots. And I see that vehicles already have, right? There's one on the slot right there. Proof of concept complete. This idea works. So what do I have to do? Remove all of the props that we spent quite some time placing, and we're going to convert all of this to functioning, like just parking squares, right? So I'm going to grab all of them, secure them to a height so that I can see the ones that I've already placed. So we're going to grab all of these and raise them up. And then it's just going to be me slamming parking slots and holes. But this is so cool. So, like, you can sink these because they're raisable. They don't affect the terrain if you sink it down below, right? So you only have to sink it down a couple spaces. So we're going to place them visible now so I can see where they are. And I place a lot of them. I don't want them to be perfectly lined up, right? I place a lot of them off-centered from each other because you want to sort of craft this idea that people are just parking however the hell they want. Like, this is their spot, and they're going to park wherever they want or however they do. And some people are going to park closer, people with bigger vehicles, trucks, and stuff like this, right? But I'm blown away that we actually got this to function because I think it elevates this build so much more than just like, oh, Moose is building a cool scene or whatever, to something that, like, has value, that citizens are coming here, tourists are coming here to this area. It functions by vanilla. Like, how cool is that? You'll see actual citizens spend time here, and tourists coming in either by, you know, airplane or outside connections, other cities coming in for the, you know, drive-in movie, right? Just super, super, super cool. Yeah, I man, I'm so stoked on this build. Like, seeing all these vehicles come around and that it's actually functioning is so freaking cool. So we're gonna come in here now with the kind of best part of this, you know, we're gonna actually have something playing on the screen, which is really cool. So these are just billboards, so it's technically just a trailer, but for the sake of this, it's actually the movie, okay? That's the entire movie. It's in here, you know? So, yeah, okay. But we're gonna use procedural objects, and I realized that procedural objects doesn't wreck the animation. I thought that for sure it would, and we'd have to just figure something out, make it smaller, whatever it is. But yeah, it actually ends up working, which is super cool. Here's the feature. So what I'm gonna do is convert this one, which is Blade Runner, to daytime only. Usually there's 2 films, I believe, for drive-in theaters. So I'm going to come in and find another film. That one seemed a little bit too, like, aggressive. So I went for something that's more, like, chill. So I'm going through all my billboards that I have, and we end up settling on Dune. So it's Blade Runner and Dune that are playing at this one. And so yeah, I'm going to come in here and convert this to procedural objects and have this to show at nighttime only. So during nighttime, you'll see Dune. And during daytime shots, or just before, you know, at sunset, you'll get Blade Runner. And so I just am blown away that we got this to function, and with that cool added feature that there's 2 films playing, but it depends on the time of day for what, you know, what film is playing, which I think is just so cool. So here it is. We test it out. And there it is. It switches to Dune now. It's a little bit light. Like, I couldn't get, you know, that looks good. That looks good. I wish it was a little bit brighter. It is what it is. That's nitpicking at this point. But, like, look at that with the sun setting. Oh, yeah. Look at that, eh? Oh, man. I'm so excited for this build. Like, that part right here seals it all in, right? That it's completed. That's added. What a huge, huge win. We're going to come in here now and detail out the warehouse. And again, this is the part that I was talking about where the decals really add a lot to it. I also want to take some time again just to say another huge thank you to everybody who stopped by, all the new subscribers. The growth of the channel has been insane. If you're a City Skylines fan, this is the place for you. It's all we do. It's all I do on Twitch as well, too. So yeah, subscribe, man. We're almost at 1K. We're so heckin' close. And we're going to do our first ever YouTube live stream when we hit 1K. I've already started planning it. There will be a poll so you all can decide what series you want to see, if it's either City Skylines Netherlands or Rural Canada A. So expect the poll soon, the closer we get. And yeah, man, I'm so excited. So cool to see this community. If you want to connect further, we do have a Discord. So link for that is in the description below. We're going to come in here now with the Overgrowth Network. And I know a lot of people will be thinking, like, man, that's a lot of nodes to be using considering the fence is a network. But if we ever hit the node limit, like, I'll just come in and delete these. And I just don't see it ever being an issue. If it hasn't been an issue in 2 years, it's not going to be an issue yet. The way we play the game just kind of protects us from the node limit. So I'm going to come in and line this up, and that really adds a lot to this build, that overgrowth network there. Man, it like, I don't know, it just adds this little touch of like, yes, that's the look I want, right? Like that's the idea that we're going for. And we end up adding it to the road as well, and it just, mwah, chef's kiss, you know? Such a cool little thing. But I know, I can hear people screaming about, don't limit. Do not panic. Do not panic. Everything will be fine. So here it is, coming around there. And I really like that road, too, that just ends with that barrier. I think that's super cool. Might add, like, an abandoned truck or something over there. I think would be kind of nice to add. Gonna add the crosswalks here, and I thought about converting this to traffic lights that you're gonna see me add, but I decided let's do a 4-way stop instead. And that's mostly because the asphalt road has vanilla lights. Can you change them with Bob? Yes. I just didn't want to. I was just being lazy. Like, if I'm being completely honest, I was just lazy and figured... Also, by the way, it would have been much quicker to swap those traffic lights to Bob than place 4-way stop signs on all of these roads. I'll put that on record, but it is what it is. And, you know, yeah, so there it is. We're nearing the end of the time-lapse portion here, so I'm going to leave you with the ending out music here. Beautiful view of this, some light foliage detailing, and I'll catch you all in the live play. Live play, I said it correctly this time, which is coming very soon. So yeah, enjoy. Moose 2 will be with you shortly. Welcome back, everybody, to the live play portion of the episode. I hope you all enjoyed this build. These builds, these sort of like one-off, unique builds, are honestly some of my favorite things to do in this game, and they add such a cool atmosphere, and it's something that's like, I don't know, they're a lot of fun to talk about in comments of the videos. You know, people can relate, you have your own memories, and yeah, they're just, it's such a nice break. Like, don't get me wrong, you know, crafting these small neighborhoods, and we will go check this area out that we built on, the live stream Friday when the Cities 2 video came out. But yeah, no, these things are a lot of fun to put together, and I hope that you all really, really enjoyed the episode. And one of the coolest things about this, not only did we manage to get this to function and operate, which is so cool that these are gonna change out. It's not always gonna be the same vehicles. You'll of course get this, which we all love about Cities 1. But one of the cooler things that we got is if I come into Unified UI, and we're going to switch over to play it. Right now it's showing Blade Runner. And if we go forward, boom. I think like right there, right? When it hits nighttime, it'll switch. It's not as lit up as I hoped for. You know, wish it was like a little bit brighter. I wonder if I could do anything in procedural objects about it, but that's Dune. Also, it might be brighter than it's appearing because it's super bright outside my window right now while I record this, so it makes, you know, it looks darker. But yeah, I think I might be able to do something to light this up a little bit better. But yeah, I'm really stoked on that. I think that's such a cool feature. I might have to tone this down a bit. The block that I'm using to get all these people to come in and, you know, simulate functionality with this, it's 150 entertainment, and it's seeming like it's a bit too much with the amount of tourism that it brings in. So I think I'm going to come in and swap it out for like a 50 so that it's not, you know, as chaotic. I mean, either way, though, I'm not going to complain about too much traffic. The fact that it functions is awesome. It also adds vehicles here, too, so giving some life to the warehouse here. And I love this asset, man. This worn asset that Spence made, covered in the graffiti. It looks like, as a backdrop to here, to this side, I don't know, that to me just, I think it looks so heckin' cool. Love that. Just, that's so cool. I'm so stoked on this build. But let's take a step away from what we built in this episode. Let's talk about what we built in the live stream. So this area here, let's get out of this and let's give you guys a better view. We'll hop into this camera. So this is the area that we began working on. This is the Pizza Hut from the last episode, the bus depot. So here's the ride bus depot, and I thought it would be fun. So we did a live stream answering City Skylines 2 questions. If you haven't seen it, please check out the City Skylines 2 video. I'm really proud of it and what we created. But yeah, I was answering City Skylines 2 questions while hanging out in the beautiful city of Greenway. Thought it'd be a cool one to show off. So we built out this neighborhood, and I'm really stoked on it. Now, there's areas that aren't done, obviously. We've got the 7-Eleven here that's not detailed up. The church could use a little bit more detail. We did get the parking lot all filled out, and I'm really stoked on that, too, like, as you enter this small community. Love the look of that. But yeah, some things that aren't detailed out, right? This is just planning ideas here with these buildings that are over there. And then we built out this community, added the school in, which I think looks really well. So this one's definitely complete. The school with the field at the back. And yeah, there's still, still some areas that could use some love. Added a couple homes here. Really, really stoked at how the school turned out. Like, I think that looks so awesome. And this volunteer fire department asset, like, look at that, eh? Gorgeous asset. Oh, that's so cool. Like, that is perfect for this area. So yeah, really happy with that. And if we look at sort of where we're at again, for those that like to see, I want to get better at it because I know people really do like to see overviews. So like, here's the overview of downtown, the progress that we made, the suburbs, the communities there. Here's one of the communities from the gas station episode over here. Airport sits here. And probably this community is getting a little bit too close to the airport, so I'm gonna have to cut this off shorter, like maybe around here, and have it cut off. I mean, the community that is near the airport in Kamloops, British Columbia, does get pretty close, but yeah, I don't know. Either way, I'm really, really stoked at this. And then here's where the theater sits in the layout here compared to like where that community is. But this is really starting to make this area around the airport now make more sense and feel more filled out, which I'm really liking, because it's given this place a home. Like, it's like, why does this exist? And we can sort of, tell that and start to fill in these little spots on the map. But I love doing these one-off builds. But yeah, so back over here, this is what we got up to. And again, it wasn't a crazy amount because most of the time we spent answering questions, talking with people. I'm going to do a crazy amount, right? There's still areas that could use some more detailing. But just so that you all know what was going on with this area here. And again, I'm just really happy with that. Oh, and this roundabout was really cool. So this is using one-way roads and node controller as well as network multi-tool to bring it together. Let me know. There's still some areas, like some of the corners, that could probably clean up. This is the best that I've done for a suburban roundabout. If you're interested in this, or you'd like to see an episode about this where I can include this in, let me know. There likely will be some in the future. This is something that I want to do in the suburbs of the downtown as well. So likely it will be coming in a future episode there as well. But yeah, here it is. This is the episode. Love the little highway that leads up to it here. And these networks, I'm not worried about hitting the, I guess, node limit and segment limit. I assume there's a segment limit. Node limit is what I hear of, though. And even if I did, I'd just come in and delete these then and get rid of that. But there's no way. At the rate that we build, the amount of detail that I like to put in, I highly doubt it. And it's just super quick, right? I can plop it in. It adds really cool realism to it. And I'm just loving this area, man. I can't get enough of this. This is so, so, so cool. Oh, man, I love this. I'm really, really, really excited with this build. This was, and this was a suggestion too. I gotta remember to mention that. But yeah, this got suggested to me on yesterday's stream, so I'm recording this on the Saturday. This got suggested to me, and I didn't think, I was like, yeah, this seems like a cool idea. We'll probably do this in a few episodes. And I thought, you know what? I'm really excited with the Cities 2 episode. Also, we gotta fix that. I gotta PO that or something to move it up. I'm really happy with this Cities 2 video, and I felt like doing something fun, like let's do something fun for this on a Monday. Everybody's getting hyped about Cities 2. There's so much content that's out now. Let's do something fun, so let's have a fun day with this. So yeah, that's that is we got up with this. But yeah, no, I hope you all enjoyed the City Skylines 2 video as well too. But yeah, that's all I got for you in this episode. As always, I want to give a huge shout out to the people that support me over on Ko-fi and Patreon. Disney Dude 1, Shane Turner, Fish Bob, Hey Guy Buddy, Braygard, William Epps, the Yet _ Anthropophagic, the Jonah, Trevor Sabo, and Poplar Ponderosa. I really appreciate the support. Remember, no matter what life throws at you, you matter, you are loved, you have a purpose. I'm a Canadian Moose, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Happy building, eh?